So we've been doing a lot of, I feel, tethering and rooting, which I kind of feel, and hoping to foster vitality. But in creating today, it came to me that I really wanted to do something that I used to, one of my favorite ways of practicing, which is, we do it quite a lot, but is to balance this tether with this flow, sort of embrace the dance. And it kind of made me think of all the new flowers coming and blowing in the wind. So it is that part of vinyasa that is the flow. So I hope that I balanced it, that you can feel or have the opportunity to feel within your postures. And again, I totally invite you to stay in that. You don't have to do the flow. You can just do it more slowly. I think everybody knows how to navigate this through their own uniqueness. Otherwise, I'm hoping that you'll see there's some beauty in the flow. Having said that, let's get started by closing our eyes. Just keeping the hands somewhere where you feel they're comfortable, you're not stretching or overdoing. We've probably all had some morning already. So here, we just take this pause to deliberately let go of that, settle into the practice, into the body, into the breath, churning and tuning in. And just embracing, holding, fostering creativity. And don't ever forget a sense of playfulness. I think that's really important. So let's take a big inhalation through the nose. And when you exhale, do it audibly with that sound of ha. We'll do 3 of them. It'll be your own. You won't be at the same pace as I am. That doesn't matter. Just do 3. So inhaling. Just settle the eyes behind the lids before we open them, adjusting to the light and that soft gaze, unfocused though it is. Just let's keep the hands where they are. And we're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder, just opening up the right side of the neck. Gaze down now to the sort of the left hand or to the floor, and just let the muscles around the eyes have to release. And then let's shift that gaze as we're over to look up into that corner. Maybe trace that arc. This has a direct impact on the vagus nerve that runs behind the neck. Really great for bringing ease to those muscles. We carry a lot of tension here. And then bring the gaze back to center and lift back up. Take a moment to let the neck respond and rejuvenate and come over the other side. Right ear to right shoulder. Keep the left shoulder cap sinking into the body so you don't follow the motion with the side body at all. We're really isolating it in the neck. Okay, again, take the gaze down softly to the floor on an angle, whatever feels good. And keep creating more and more space from the earlobe to the top of the shoulder. And then we're going to switch that gaze and look up. Again, tracing that sort of inner orb. Just playing around with the movement in the eye. Or staying static and just gazing up. And breathing as we do it. Okay. Come back to center. Awesome. Now, we're going to take the arms and we'll bring them behind. So if you're on your prop, stay on the prop or just bring them to the back of your hips. And we're going to use it as a chest opener. So the hands come to the hips, elbows move towards the back of the space. Kind of press the hands in and slightly down. It'll help create space for the collarbones, to reach up shoulder blades together. That's it. And then release, let the spine come back to neutral. Bring your left arm over the right, spiral. That's it. Breathe here. So here we're going to start the flow. Good. And then take that left arm, straighten it out, palm facing in, and just open the side of that shoulder towards me. So you're kind of twisting the upper chest around, feeling it in the side of the shoulder, trying to keep them, shoulder height. Don't drop and sink your chest in. Try to keep nice and tall. Good. And then undo the hands and bring them back to the hips behind them. Lift the chest. Try not to overreact with the chin or the back of the neck. Just let the chest be the primary mover. Open and breathing into the space there. Good. And then come back to neutral. That's it. And now take the right arm on top. Spiral them, vine them. Palms may not meet. So just have the back of the hands resting together if that's easier for you and your wrists. Breathe here. Yeah. Just notice how we moved from the upper chest to the upper back primarily, and we can play around. Now we're going to the side of the shoulder as we open the right arm towards us and really spiral this shoulder cap to the center. So the spinal front, good. And really try to work your sense of opening here. So it's not so much down here, it's really isolating here. That's it. Good. And then bring the hands back down. Bring them right out of the way, stretching them up. And we're going to go to a side bend. So again, we're lifted. So just bring your hands to maybe tented if you can reach the floor. Adjust, be creative. Okay. And then over. Stretching out the whole side of the body right to the fingertips. That's it. And then lift up and then gently twist. So hand to thigh, backhand to the sacrum, lifting the chest, getting the length, and taking an exhalation to get the depth of the twist. Just keep feeling that rinse. It can be really, really gentle. I keep the chin out of too much work here. Good. And now let's go. Inhale, hands up. Exhale over to the side. Stretch it out. Feel that breath work. Inhale, float up. There's that float. Exhale to the twist. Inhaling back up and exhale to the side. Nice and as deeply as it feels good, right? And you can follow the breath. Inhale back up. Exhaling to the twist, right to the bottom of the breast. Shoulder caps away from the neck. Last one. Inhaling up. Side bend. Soften that elbow into the waist to support, and then up. And finally, exhaling into the twist. Come back up, center. Other hand comes down, right arm lifts, over now, shrinking that waist in, extending the opposite. Waist length to the fingertips. Just soften that lower elbow in so you don't feel all jammed up to your earlobe. That's it. Breathing here, and this is what I mean. Here's the tether. So just filling in the shape, coloring it, and really sitting with it, cradling it, living it, and then up, and we're going to go to its rinse. So hand to thigh, hand to sacrum, lift the chest. That just primary mover up, and then take the exhalation, breathing here in the twist for a moment to really get the sense of reaching into it, filling it out, being patient, and breathing along as we do it. Okay. Inhaling, hands up, right out of the hips. Exhale over. Inhale back up, stack the waist through the arms. Exhale. Keep the chest broad. Inhaling back up. Exhale to the side bend. Right out of that hip crest. Inhaling up and take the twist. Again, it's not going to be your deepest one. Doesn't matter. This is what flow. Inhale up. And remember, your flow, just go where it feels good. Really embrace the dance. And finally, exhale. Inhaling back up. Come off that prop. Just take it off the mat. And we're going to undo these legs now. Woohoo. And just find ourselves in this tabletop position. Wrists and hands below the shoulders. And take a moment to really press the top of the feet in. So you feel some action and reaction in the front of the ankles. Plug the belly up and just find this space. On an inhale, we're just going to pull the crown and the tailbone up, really traction the hands in and the knees in. Exhale, scoop and dome the back. Belly right into the spine. Come back to neutral. We take the right leg straight out from the body and the left arm from the shoulder. Right out, not forward, so parallel with the shoulder line. That's for a moment, because you may lose that sort of connection with your left heel here. So before we move, pull that left heel inward. It's not going to want to go. Stay here. Breathing, keeping the chest parallel to the floor, learning this balance. And again, patience. Bring the left hand back down to support and let the weight distribution even out. And then slowly drift on that plane. Keep the leg and the ears. You feel them tethered together, and just take the dip with the upper chest, sort of at the pit of the throat. I'd suggest don't go lower than the elbows. And even if it's just an intention and you're not actually bending much, that's fine. Breathe. Okay. Here are the two sides. Inhaling, reach that arm up and out. Exhale, bring the hands down and dip. Nice broad upper chest. Inhaling, float back up and lift the arm right to the top of the breath. Exhale, plant the hand and dip. And inhale, lift the arm. That right leg doesn't move. Whew. Exhale, dip. Inhaling up, take that right leg down. And let's just soften to the forearms for a moment. Someone's doing some road work or something out there. Hello. Come back up. Okay, left leg goes right out of the hips strong. So I'd consider spreading your toes to really help feel strong down both sides. And the right arm comes up. Breathe here. Filling it in, feeling some space, especially at the front of the left shoulder, because that will tend to sort of sink and dip and fail you. Okay, right hand comes down, slide forward and take your dip, or the idea of the dip, keeping the hips nice and neutral, as are the shoulders. And just notice if you're starting to pull and claw your fingers. You try to keep the first joints of each finger nice and rooted down flat, not clawed where your fingernails. Okay, up, arm, right arm up and out. Exhale, bring that right arm down and press. Back of the head and the heel stay on the same plane. Up, lift, fill it in. Exhale, plant and dip. Whoa, that's nice. Up and lift right out those points and plant and dip. Good. And up, bring that left knee down. Come to the shins for a moment. And then let's stretch our hands right out from where they are. So you kind of feel it reaching down into your hips, maybe the sides of the shoulders, keeping the gaze softly resting between the thumb tips, okay? And just take a moment. Okay, we're gonna go to downward dog. So shift the weight forward, take the toes under. Slowly come and pedal it for a moment. It's our first one. You may wanna keep the knees slightly soft while you're finding the length in the top of the posture through the hands, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, down into the feet. And let's just visit the diaphragm area. If it feels you've lost connection, pull it in, reconnect to front from throat to pubic bone. Now find the stillness, the even root through the hands and the feet, and the slight outward kick of the heels. And then float it to high plank again. Shoulders over the wrist, very strong legs. Plug the belly up away from the floor. And just visit the neck so you don't feel pinching the back of the neck. That's a sign that you probably started to lift your chin. And if you do that, you lose this connection with the front body, and it'll be very hard to keep the core tuned in and turned on. Okay, now knees come down. This is not a flop. This is a stretch back to the heels, opening the feet, stretching out. Those arms are strong, lowering the forehead a little bit. I wouldn't let it sink to the ground. Just stay buoyant. Explore the breath now as we kind of expand the side ribs away from the spine. Okay, let's go back, downward dog. Inhaling plank, fire up the thighs, exhale down. Inhaling plank, shoulder caps in the body, lift up and back, nice, downward dog. Inhaling plank. Exhale, knees to the mat, spread the buttocks towards the heels. Inhale back to plank. Feel that movement, that flow. Exhale, downward dog, inverting. Last one, strong plank. Feel this a gentle offering, but it's not stretching back. Inhale, find that length, and exhale, bow to ourselves, downward dog. Okay, bring the knees down to the mat. For the moment, keep them curled under, the toes curled under as we just come up, stacking ourselves above the knees. Shift the weight into the right knee. So we won't stay here. If you're any twanging, just take that foot. It'll help take the pressure out of the kneecap. We won't stay here. Right foot is coming forward and the right knee is over the right ankle. And the arms just come to the chest, palms will come together. Really enhancing this idea of that central meridian, that line. So press down that right foot and lift this left knee. And I want to hesitate. I don't want to say tuck your tailbone. I don't want you to feel you've done this, of course. But I'd like you, even if you have to leave the mudra and find your way that as neutral a pelvis as possible, where you feel this length and opening happening, sliding down that left leg. Good. The hands will separate and come down by the sides. And then we're going to stretch that back leg as we just hinge over this front leg. We didn't lift the chin. We didn't change anything in our spine. It was just from the hips and the buttocks. Breathing, squaring off the shoulders, noting where work is happening. Learning to even that out. Press through that right heel. And open up, stacking the leg bones. The legs are straight and the arms reach up and out. From shoulder height, palms will face the sky. Really helps if you really focus on sending your energy down the inside of this left leg, okay? Trying to keep that inside, big toe side glued to the mat. Spread those toes. Arms look forward. They're gonna come together without us. Maybe keep a nice broad chest, so a big even dome of the rib cage, and bend this right leg. So this is a modified high lunge, warrior one. Again, try to feel the shoulder blades nicely, evenly alongside your spine. I don't want you to feel that you've wrapped and cradled the side ribs. That means you're doing this and reaching forward through the upper back. Try not to. Try to just send that intention through the hands, not the actual body. Okay, let's go. Hands to heart, knee goes down, not all the way. That's it, okay. Hinge. Inhaling, up and open, take up space. Exhale, bend that right leg, bring the palms together. Inhale, drop the knee. Exhale, separate the hands, go for your hinge. Inhale, press to that right heel, stretch your body and your space out. And exhale, bring it in line. Last one, hands to heart, knee towards the ground as low as you can make it. Send the energy down the back leg. Feel that power develop in the hips and the thighs. Balance up and down. Good. And all the way down to the mat if you can without flopping. Be careful. Set the weight back over that hip and bring your right leg back. Shift the weight. Bring the left foot forward and bring it under the knee. Bring the hands to the heart. Have a sense that your left hip is sort of sinking towards the floor a little bit. You want to avoid it. It's going to want to ride up. That will feel like it's taking the work away, but it's inappropriate. So hands to heart. Get that energy. We can do this. Just lift the knee up and start to work the rest of the pose up from those grounding feet. Even breathe in, feel the dome of the ribs and the anterior, posterior. If anything, see, I just tweaked to see you guys. And in doing that, I just developed a little deeper connection with the inside of my right hip. So you can even have that idea, right? Okay, hands separate, they come side the body, and we hinge out of this left hip. If anything, just gently ease this left hip inward. Again, we don't want it drifting away. We want to keep it moving in towards the groin. Beautiful. Nice, big, strong chest. Okay, press through that heel and take up space, reaching those arms open. So we get some nice movement in the shoulders themselves, the back muscles, balance. Again, gaze is soft. It's not moving around. Stay focused. We can do that. And then again, moving the both whole arms in the shoulders, letting some muscles release, bringing them in front, reaching up the chest, bend that left leg and extend the right. So remember, when we're moving forward, really find that anchor in the back leg. It really helps keep the balance. And I don't mean just balance, energy balance. Okay, hands are going to come to the heart. We're going to inhale the knee down. Exhale, arms down by the side of the body, hinge. Inhale, take up space. Reach the side walls. Exhale, hands forward, knee bends. Right to the bottom of the breath. Inhaling, top, there's a pause. Exhale, reach. Press through that left heel. Inhale, drive those arms up, take up space. And exhale, bring them together and bend the left knee. Inhale, hands to chest, knee towards the ground. Exhale, the hands separate. The chest remains wide, the collarbones spread. Reach up, keep those collarbones spread here and again here. And hands to heart, knee comes down. Try to be gentle here, that's important. Take the leg back, get out of those feet, or the ankles by flipping the feet. Send the hips right to the heels for a moment. Sit tall, so kneeling. Hands drift behind us. Fingers were looking towards the feet, usually shoulder width apart. And we're going to bend the elbows evenly towards the back of our space. Tug the belly in, away from our waistband, and maybe lift the shins. They may not move. Doesn't matter. It's still chemicals. Just sit there with it. Okay, peel the hands away from heel to fingertips. Find the mat and invert in downward dog. Okay, let's step up to our hands, keeping the feet hip distance apart. We're not in the tuck, we'll be in a forward fold, but like a rag doll. So a soft bend at the knees, a draping of the spine, a softening of the spine. Notice this is where you feel the shoulder caps themselves sort of pulling in towards the side of your neck. That is going to happen. So think of maybe a horseshoe shape. And the palms are up, not reaching down or supporting us. They're cradling us. And just stay here for a moment. You may want to come, a lot of us I know like the little bit higher version of this where the arms are stretched now. You can bob and weave, maybe float to the outside edge of each foot, seeing how that feels in the waist, or indeed taking hold of the opposite elbow, which is a bit stronger, but you can see that bind initiates a deeper stretch, let's say, along the side of the body. Kind of up to you. But at some point, especially if you've bound like I have, let go of that bind, because we're going to breathe up on the inhale and stop on the exhale down into the feet. Really honor that. Reach down to the core of the earth. Inhaling again. Just wait. Don't rush it. Get familiar with what it's like to have a closed chest. It's right there. You can feel it all the way up to stand. Just wait a moment. Notice the distribution and how we would say we're in stillness here, but of course you can feel the heels, or I feel the outside edges. There's this continual synchronicity. The earth, just let that happen for a moment. And we're going to take our arms, same in that opener. So eagle type arms, but again, if it's too much, the backs of the hands will touch. So right arm under left, spiral and vine. Bring the elbows up to shoulder height. I'm just going to go sideways. feel strong through here. So you want to feel nice and strong. Actually, one, I should have done it today, but I didn't say have all your blocks. So imagine you have a block between your inner thighs and you need to keep that blocked. You can do it. I'm doing it. Imagine. Okay. We're going to slowly round our upper back. Feel those forearms coming parallel to the floor. Doesn't matter if they do or they don't. Yeah. Maybe a little softness in the knee. I don't want you to feel strain in the backs of the legs, but I need power there. Really open up that back body. And then come back up. Undo slowly and gently. We'll go to the other side. Binding, palm to palm or back of the hand. Again, find the foundation from the hips, the glutes, the legs, the ankles, the feet, and then go over. I should have said, see, be creative. My body was just calling me. I used to love to do this, just bend a leg and another one. See how that changes, maybe shifting the foundation. And the weight distribution in your foundation will change the posture and what you can soak up from it. What feels good. That's where the creativity comes in. Come back up. Release those arms. Standing at the top of the mat. Hands at the heart, toe knuckles together, and samasthiti, a very slight separation of the ankle bones and through the heels. Inhale, lift these arms up in a V, up, 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 maybe expose the chest to the sky, and then bring the palms together and unzip right down the front of the body, opening the back of the body, letting go of the crown. Inhaling, reaching away from the floor, get the crown, the tailbone up. It is a back bend if you can muster it. And then deep squat. Plant the right hand, the foot. Take the left leg back and bring it to the floor on an angle. Bring the right arm across the right thigh and keep chest, shoulders, and the hips. So the right hip going back and try to keep square, flush to the floor. You okay with this for a moment? If the head is dangling, reset it, honor those natural curves of the spine. And then we're going to open the left arm and we're going to reach forward, reach it up. And as we reach it up, we're going to come press to that right leg and come up and open. Straight legs. Okay, inhaling, reverse pinwheel, open up the side of the body. Exhale, bend that right leg. Find your warrior two, gazing over the middle finger. Inhaling in warrior two, keeping that right leg bent, squeezing the left waist in, press to that right heel and straighten the legs. Inhaling behind us, exhale, rooting ground wide and steady. Keep that right leg bent. Inhale through the right side of the body, right to the forefingers and the thumb. Press to that right heel and straighten the legs and reach out big and wide. Last one, inhale. No, they're cutting a tree down, I think. And exhale, warrior two. It's always so great. Inhaling, warrior two. And exhale, back. Good. Bend that right leg. Left arm's going to spiral up right above the left hip. Right arm stays where it is. Just wait for a moment. Because you want to learn these places so when you do those revolutions, you can actually find the distance we want to reach and then take that left hand all the way down to the floor, plant it. Bring the right one to the floor. If you can't plant it, then you thumb tip it. Okay, and let go of the crown and really reach up the left side of the back. As we pivot the back foot, soften and step through to the hands, planting the foot as it was, letting the belly reach down through the thighs and the crown to the floor. Inhaling, and we'll do that on the other side. Deep squat, shift, take the right leg back and long and plant it on an angle so that we really glue the pinky side of that leg down. It will have an achy sort of effect. Left arm crosses. As we just noticed, we'll pull the left hip in if it's starting to drift and go askew. Hips are square and the chest is nice and neutral. We're going to take that right arm, turn it away, sweep it forward out of that waist and bring it right up so it's stacked above the left arm, at which point press to that left heel and spiral open. So reaching down evenly through both legs into the ground, feeling full-footed. So really honor the full-footedness of this posture and take up space. Inhaling, reverse pinwheel out of the left hip. Exhale, you can bring the gaze over the left fingers and bend that left leg. Inhaling, reverse warrior. Exhale, press to that heel and straighten back up. Inhale, reverse with long legs and a long side body. Exhale, bend the left leg and find the root and the gaze. Inhaling, reverse, and exhale. Last one, reach equidistant through both those arms. Inhaling and exhale down, gazing over that middle finger. Yes. Inhaling and reverse warrior. And exhale, straight leg. Bend that left knee. Keep that left arm floating parallel to the floor and reach that right arm up and out of the hip. Just wait for the tether, wait for that interesting dynamic, reaching up and reaching out. And then follow that arc all the way to the floor, stretching out the upper back. Woo-wee. Plant, pivot, drape, and really breathe in that right side of the body, softening the legs, and step through, plant, fold, lift. Now stay lifted here. We're going to go into forward fold. So you may want to kind of mirror me and take a slight bend, but if you like a dynamic one, you can take your fingers between big and second toe, or just progress slowly on those exhalations of sort of folding over those standing legs, really offering a long spine. Try to stay really present where strain occurs. Okay, if your hands are just on the mat, that's fine. They can come to the ankles. Just let it evolve slowly, bringing the weight distribution out of the heels if you can. And try not to squeeze the toes together. It's just really getting the head below the heart. And then if you took a grip, let go of your grip, we're going to skim the sides of the pants and come to half stand, powering up through the legs and getting that deep hinge in the hips. Stretch those arms back. That just allows us to stay really sort of present in what's happening in the upper body and where we hold tension in the neck. So stretching those arms out, make them less heavy. Good. And then we're going to bring the arms out to shoulder height as we take our seat back. Wide leg Utkatasana with a variation of the arms. As we lift the chest, the arms will open on an angle, give or take. And they're wide, right? So there's a lot going on. Push the feet away from each other. You probably felt it sing in the hips. This one's big. Be okay with it. Be okay with it. Okay. You know, you can take the arms out because this is going to make it much more challenging, and I've added one more. So if you like this, you keep it there. Put the hands at the hips if you'd rather, or come up and direct the side body up through the fingers. Once you feel that and the strong foundation through the legs, start to lift both heels and drop the seat a little bit. Lift the chest, refine, color it in. Keep the jaw soft by allowing the chewing surfaces of the teeth to stay apart. And let's see if we can move up to a lifted Urdhva Hastasana with the heels high. Bring the palms together above the crown and lower them to the heart as we lower the heels. Take a hand to the heart, just palm in, another one palm in. You probably feel your heart beating. Let the chin come down. Just be okay. Take the hands down. And we're going to step back. This is a version of Parsvattanasana. So we'll step back, the left foot, not so long. Okay, not so long. And we don't have blocks, so you're really going to have to honor your creative side. Okay, so we step back. Let's bring the hands as reference to the hips and the elbows back, just to again offer opening in the chest, and feel the movement beneath the hands as we come halfway to the floor, or maybe not quite halfway. Once we stop moving, let's breathe through the feet down into the ground. So press those feet down and away from each other. Oh, just gently inching the right hip to the back of our space and the left hip a little bit forward to our space. Okay, we're going to bend the right leg and lift the left heel and pivot it. So both sets of toes look forward. Take this slowly. We don't have to rush. And slowly shifting the weight, we're bringing the left knee to the hip height. I'll do it first. Flex the ankle. When you feel that knee up there, send the hands up. Hello, psoas. Hands come together, bring them to the heart. And this is where that creative reference comes to play. Bend and start to float into some version of warrior three. Again, keeping such softness in the neck. You just feel the hinge around the top standing leg. When we come out, try to not touch the floor as we come back to lifting that left knee up, separating the hands, mirroring the side of the body, reaching up, up, up to the sky. And then plant the hands down, bring the hands back down to the hips. Wait for the distribution, evening out between those standing legs. Bend, shift, take the right leg back, not too far. Straighten the legs down. Find your way. Again, if the heels were to, or the feet were to move, the heel would revolve inwards, okay, not outwards. Try the difference of pressing down and sweeping it in, squaring off the hips, taking this dip slowly, reaching over this extended leg. And just being really aware of what's going on at the fulcrum, at the hips here. What about navel, diaphragm? Can we engage them active, draw them up, shoulder blades to the spine, just all these lovely things as we press those legs down and strongly away. Okay, begin to soften, which means bend this left leg, peel the right one so the toes look forward. Press through, start to spring off this back foot, and using that core, lift it up. When your knee is hip height, extend the arms from the ankle to the fingertips, both sides. Bring the palms together. We're going to start to drift them down as we make our way into a variation of warrior three. Really, really find this focus on the fulcrum. Shoulder blades to the spine. Coming back up through. Knee up, hands separate, reach up and out of the ground. And then bring them down. We'll just take a moment, close the eyes. Okay. One more, just little flow. Not everybody likes this one. Again, standing on the top of the mat, give a nice base because we need it. While doing the dynamic balance, which is so important because we rarely fall while we're standing still. We fall in motion. So this gives us a chance to feel okay with being on one leg. Let's just have our hands at our hips, okay? To start, we'll bend, hinge. So you feel the movement, expansion underneath the palms. Shift the weight into the right leg and spread this left leg forward. You can tap it, whatever, or think, it's not very yogic, but think of a hockey puck. You just slid forward and then you slide that puck back and then you stand and lift and activate the ankle. You go to the next one. So point, stretch that leg straight out to the side, breathe down the inner leg, woo, woo, woo. Bring it back, sliding it, press it down and reach it up. Of course, we can do crazy more stuff with the arms, but let's just focus on this. Bend, and we're gonna send that back. Now, if you wanna go into flight, you do so, but we're not staying there. So you need to come back down, slide it back. Press it up, 2 more rounds. So down, out, in, and up. I suggest lifting the corners of your mouth because otherwise you can start to grip, slide it up. Really embrace the work we're feeling and the heat we're building in the right glutes and hip and all the way up. Last one, right? Down. Slow. Did I just do an extra one? No, I didn't. You can go out to the side. Try not to put your weight on that if you can. I know it's hard back. And then up, plant it down. Let the hands come down. So release any tightening across here. Smile and nod. We'll go the other side. Hands, cradle the hips, bend at both the knees, plug the belly in, peel the right foot off, and just send this one out to start. Bring it back, press it up. Yeah, down. When the knees match, send it out. Bring it in. Feel that work beneath the hands. Up. Plug the belly in strong. Down. Send it back, opening the hip flexor, front of the right hip. And up. Flex the ankle when you come up. And down. Stick it forward. Plug it back in and reach it up. And down. Extend it out to the side. See how you can vary this depending on your mood and your need. You could maintain it, go far faster, go deeper. This time bring it up. Last one, down. Again, release the biting surfaces. And up. Ha-ha. Oh. And up. And remember, arms down. Try not to move too much, just they'll naturally find their way to neutral. And I should have said that in the beginning there, but I think everybody knew it. I saw some of us were not doing it. This is the same thing, right? Like, that's the beauty. Like, you don't have to do this. This is a balance. Okay. We're at the top of the mat. We're going to bring the feet in, but it's a narrower base from which to work. We're going to do a standing twist first. So think of Utkatasana, and we're going to just send those hips back, spreading out, getting some ease through here. Bring the left hand to the front of the knees and just feel the knees touching that hand. Right hand just drifts to the sacrum. Take your breath work until you feel like you're ready to start to exhale, opening up to the side, to the right. You know, if you're somebody who wants to hook and do all those things, you know what works for you. I don't need to say it. And then bring that left hand back, find neutral space in the center, and begin to progress to the other side mindfully and deliberately. Because sometimes I will offer those other variations, but I've been really feeling these days that when people say, oh, this is if you want to do this and show this, everybody feels they have to do it, and it's just not. And those of us who know they like to do certain things a certain way will do it anyway, regardless of what I say. Follow your body, bring the hands back, stand up, lift both heels. Again, being mindful that our foundation is quite narrow, and we're just going to drop down. I'm going to do it more quickly so you see where we're going. You may need to stop. And if indeed you stop here, then just support yourself, come down with your bottom on the mat. If you're here with me, bring the hands to the thighs, soften the shoulder blades down the spine so you don't feel all pulled up and tense. Let the balance happen. And then you can find the mat. Okay, feet are still together. So however we got down there, keep the feet together. Wrapping the arms around the shins, softening the chin and the chest, and just squeezing the front body into the spine. Okay. Here's another variation on Navasana. So if you even know what I'm saying, Navasana, what you do, and you're going to go to some other shape, do it. Otherwise, let's do this together. Forearms on the mat, thumbs on the inside and the fingers on the outside. Just notice that how and what it feels like when we drop our lower back. You probably got some pinching on your thumbs, and you probably felt that sort of the fatty part of your glutes, sort of the top part. So find the fullness. You want to feel like fully your bum cheeks on the mat, and then pull your lower back away from the thumb. So there's that lovely natural space. Gazing down the body, just plug in the navel, and just make sure that when you pulled the navel in, your back didn't react. Come to the toe points. Bring the shins up parallel to the floor. Keep the spine nice and long. And the neck should be, you should be able to look down by now and be comfortable, but adjust. If you like it better to kind of gaze up at the toes, do that. Feels better actually for me. And then let's go ahead and straighten those legs. You see how this is still Navasana, but just slightly supported by our forearms might let us make that inquiry a little bit richer. We're going to take the left leg and halfway to the floor. You see, you can do this without support, but I find it really hard on the lower back, and we tend to default into that. Right leg down. Bring them up. Bend the legs. So nothing, I'm hoping you didn't feel any movement in the spine. And it's natural because of the spine when you did that. Find the mat with the feet. Find the mat with the hands, just coming back up. Separate the feet a bit and just take a moment to reach up the spine through to the back of the head. And then bring the soles of the feet together. We're finding Baddha Konasana, taking hold of the calves, the ankles, or the toes, using that leverage to draw us up. You don't have to, but you can see it's quite hard to sort of lengthen without having external leverage, which is what we're doing with our hands. Just find full-sided breaths here, and be okay with being drawn to not only maybe your groins, or maybe it's at the top of the inhale, the rib cage is sort of reacting. It's all good. Allow it, just allow it. It's going to be different for every single one of us. Okay. Release that hold on the legs or wherever you were holding. We're taking the left leg out and flexing at the ankle, so it's a strong left leg. And the right heel comes into the groin. And like in Sukhasana, just see if you can spiral this right shin so that the top of the foot and the front of the shin looks to the floor. Be nice. Just going to perch up, lean forward. Okay. Left hand can be open or take hold. Just don't compromise space to go for what we think is depth. So left hand open on the left body, the right one sweeps up. I'll just offer this asymmetrical seated forward side bend. Really take this opportunity as we're seated to find the richness of this side bend and how long and space we are on the top side of the body. In order to do that, we need complementary softening, which I like to feel as balance. You can't just have all open or all soft, right? Come back up. Bring the hand down just for a moment to soak that in, and then right arm reaches up, turns to face the front, and we'll bring it forward to reach the ankle or the sole of your left foot. Fill the space now at the side of the shoulder and just offer fold over this, sort of this leg. It won't be directly your left leg, right? Because that'd be too much of a twist. It's more of a fold. Just sense the receptivity in the lower back. Let go of that space softly so you don't snap out of it. You can bring the arm back up. Left leg in, right leg out. Top of the foot to the floor, lengthen out, lift. Yeah, and process, proceed, process into your side bend over to the right. Feeling both sides of the breath, which means the both inhalation and the out breath, the exhalation, to leave their imprint on the side bend. Come back up. We'll follow with this, stretching forward, finding the foot, lifting and folding over. Take a moment, I think here, I just wanted to offer for you to visit the back of the neck up where we also the eyes in the back of the head. Just feel the receptivity there, the softness there. Feels really good. It should be soothing, I'm hoping, even though there's activity in the right leg. And up and down. Bring that left leg in, undo, or the right leg in, undo the left, and prepare for reverse table, planting the hands, spreading the fingers so we get nice weight distribution. Don't rush. Again, enjoy the journey, slowly lifting up to some degree, refining it as we breathe. When we come down, just see if it's not too hard for the wrists. Straighten, bring the hips closer to the hands, maybe right between them, right? Flex the ankles, lift the chest. Hinge forward, which means lean. See, not a side bend, not a forward hinge, okay? Press the ground, lift the hips, come back. Take the arms up. You're gonna take the outside of the left hand to the outside of your right shin, ankle, or foot. Slowly track that energy up the left arm. You'll feel it past the front of the left shoulder. That's where you can emphasize it by bringing the right hand across the chest like you're pulling a bow and arrow, and then finishing it right out, finding the twist, aligning the length of the spine, feeling the rinse and the hinge. And then closing up the left shoulder, you'll feel how ease comes into it and you can pop back up. Let's go the other side, stretching the arms out, deliberately turning over, reaching down to somewhere on the outside of that left leg. Slowly press into that left leg, foot, whatever, and feel the space start to crest open in this, primarily the front of the right shoulder. And then just mirror that as we stretch the left arm away, really trying to stack those arms, feeling the lungs equidistant from the rib cage or the heart. Yowzers, and come down. Come up. Let's just scooch now to the top of the mat. And we'll just support ourselves like we did with that supported Navasana. Come to the forearms. You should know this already, but if there are things you like to have for Shavasana, then you should have them sort of somewhere you can reach them and come down. Right to the back of the head. Bring the heels in a little bit. Lift the hips, realign. Get any pulling away. And then we'll just inch, heel toe the feet to the edge of the mat. Maybe you like it farther if you have really long legs or whatever. Bring the hands out to where you're comfortable. And we're going to flop over to the left hip. And direct the right knee towards the left arch. Maybe even find the left arch while you're in this twist. And then move the awareness and that gaze. So that means being present up to the back of your right shoulder. And if you feel it all pulled up, I don't know, find some ease there. Soften any tension in your right glute. And just keep the gaze neutral, okay? Here. Okay, find the mat with the feet. Probably shouldn't have to shift too much, but if you do, do so. And go to the other side. Outside of the right leg coming to the floor, left knee. Maybe close up the posture with your right foot coming in, just seeking that reference point. Again, now bring some weight to the left upper back. Come back up. And complementing that with asymmetrical supine Baddha Konasana. So hands, let's bring them into the lower belly between the hip crests. Let the chest release so the shoulders can find the mat, or back to the shoulders. Bring the feet together. Again, you probably need to get a little more space than you normally use when you're sitting in this posture. Feel the sensation of softness through the buttocks, space at the first energy center, the first chakra, and how we're cradling the space at the second. Nothing's technical, really. It wasn't technical before, but this might be a really great place for you to start to close the eyes. Just to take this really delightful progression into Shavasana. So closing up the knees, finding the mat once again with the feet where stretch the left leg first to the left corner of the mat. And the right one goes to cross over at the ankle or just kisses it with the ankle. Let go of the ankle so the feet are soft. Press into the back of the head and scoot your upper back over to the left corner. Take the arms above the head. Take hold of the right wrist, maybe, and just give a little bit of a banana stretch here. Again, it's one lovely way to reference how our bodies play. So interoception, proprioception. And then uncross the legs, find the mat, and the other side with the right leg, cross the left. Bring the upper back over to the right top corner of the mat. Take hold of the left wrist. Drop the elbows of both arms. Spread the chest. Soak up that banana side bend. And uncross. Come back to center. Bring the legs into constructive rest for a moment, and this will allow us to get that comfort through the hips that we need in the lower back, or make our props or eye bags, and then find the ground with the legs. Let both legs fall out. As we deepen the softness in the hips, in the pelvis themselves, take the arms away. Let them both face the ceiling. Just have that sense of how the softness in the hands and the palms themselves allow the fingers to curl in naturally without any effort. And if you haven't already closed your eyes, then do so. Just ease the tongue into the back of the throat, soft. just take this lovely space to integrate our practice, the shapes, the energy shifts. Just very gently begin to notice the softness and the space in these inhalations, just how different they are. So bringing ourselves through that tapestry, to the fabric that we moved through, and I hope you feel you moved with. Noticing the outer edges of the body, maybe bringing the legs up, bending the knees, soles of the feet, whatever feels good. You have your own process that suits you. Do that. And eventually coming to your side and bringing ourselves up to sitting. Just take a moment to sit here, perhaps lifting the corners of your mouth, taking a moment to soak in a little more gratitude, or just saying, giving yourself like a nod that you showed up, that you're here, that you took the time. It's awesome. Just bring the hands to the forehead and offer it to the ground.